Good day, everybody. It's Andrew here, and welcome back to my channel. We've got some huge updates from Bernie Sanders regarding the next stimulus package and stimulus checks for seniors. So let's discuss the details, but before we jump into it, do me a quick favor, hit like, hit subscribe, and share this channel with anyone who you think might find this helpful. This is a community for seniors, and my job here is to be a voice for you, be a voice for seniors, and make sure President Biden keeps his promise to increase Social Security benefits, increase SSI and SSDI, and even approve a stimulus check for seniors in this next stimulus package. So thank you so much for being a part of our community. And if you really want to support my work, subscribe to my second channel. The link to that is going to be in the comments of this video. And on that channel, we're going to have some updates as well. But we're also going to do fun things like play bingo. You'll be able to play bingo live with me. We're also going to have casino games. We're going to have lottery winning numbers. I'm going to be giving away stimulus checks. So subscribe if you want to have a chance to win stimulus checks. And the name of that channel is The Andrew Paulo Show. So you could either click on the link that's in the comments of this video or just search The Andrew Paulo Show and it should come up for you right away. So it's going to be a fun channel. It's going to be a good community for seniors to kind of hang out, play bingo. There's going to be a chat room so you can chat with me, chat with the community. I'm going to be on camera as well. So again, thank you so much to the over 5,000 people who have already subscribed to that channel. And we're going to be giving away stimulus checks there. In about 2 weeks, we're going to start doing that. So with that said, let's jump right into today's update. Bernie Sanders held an interview talking about the fact that he will not stop pushing for seniors and pushing for the next stimulus package. He is going to fight Joe Manchin to make sure we get the next stimulus package. Make sure we get the monthly stimulus checks for families. Make sure we get a stimulus check for seniors in this stimulus package. Now, he's trying to get at least $1,000 check, but a lot of experts say we should do a $2,000 stimulus check for seniors. And in my opinion, quite honestly, it should be a $2,000 check per month until Social Security benefits are permanently increased. This is something President Biden promised, a permanent increase in Social Security benefits. Now, Bernie Sanders just held an interview giving a lot of updates on the next stimulus package. Of course, as soon as the Senate comes back in session in January, Chuck Schumer has promised to bring the stimulus package to a vote. Then we have Joe Manchin saying he doesn't want to support the package, but then he backtracked and said, you know what? If we change some things, we can get the stimulus package done. So the stimulus package is not dead. Bernie Sanders continues to fight, and he was asked whether or not Democrats would consider a piecemeal option, meaning would they take some things out, pass those things individually without doing the bigger stimulus package all at once, and then try and do the big stimulus package a little bit later. Like maybe just do a stimulus check for seniors by itself, maybe do monthly stimulus checks for families by itself. Things like that, right? Piecemeal, that's what they call that. And quite honestly, personally, I don't think that's a good idea, especially because then it's when it comes to Congress, it's like when you do one or two things, then the rest of the things never get done, right? That's pretty much what happened with the physical stimulus plan, right? The physical stimulus plan was approved. It was supposed to be coupled with the stimulus check plan. They separated it, they passed the physical stimulus, and look where we're at now. Now we're having trouble getting the stimulus check package done. So in this interview, Bernie Sanders was asked, would they be willing to do a piecemeal approach and separate some things and do those separately? Bernie Sanders responded by saying that Joe Manchin should be ashamed of himself. He is being arrogant in holding up the entire stimulus package. He referenced the fact that because Democrats need every single vote in the Democratic caucus to get this done, that any Democrat could do this. He could do this. Any Democrat in the Senate could hold up the package, but he is being arrogant. Joe Manchin is being arrogant by being the one person holding this up. He also went on to say that West Virginia is one of the poorest states in this country, and seniors in that state need the help as much as anybody else, right? Seniors need a stimulus check in West Virginia. They need to lower prescription drug costs. They need to increase funding for home health care for seniors, as well as expand Medicare to include hearing care, right? People in West Virginia and seniors in West Virginia need this help as much as anybody else. So in this interview, we're going to have some massive updates from Bernie Sanders regarding the next stimulus package and hopefully including a stimulus check for seniors in this stimulus package, folks. So, Bernie Sanders being the biggest advocate for seniors, right? He is the biggest advocate to increase Social Security benefits. He is the biggest advocate to give seniors a specific stimulus check. So, it's really good news to see that he continues to fight to get these things done. So, it's really important that we keep up with what Bernie Sanders is saying because he is the most influential person when it comes to getting these things done. So, stick around for this video, folks. It's going to be about maybe 5-10 minutes. It's going to have really important information. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'm going to have a follow-up video on this soon, kind of dissecting and analyzing everything Bernie Sanders had to say and what we expect to happen next given everything that we currently know. So with that said, folks, let's take a look, see what Bernie Sanders had to say. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you on the next video.
Joining us now live is Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders, who, of course, is chair of the Senate Budget Committee. Senator, it's a real pleasure to have you with us tonight. Thanks for making time to be here.
My pleasure.
Let me just start by asking you the big picture. If this is done, or do you believe there is any chance of passing what this bill contains, either in a single bill or in pieces?
I think nothing is done until it's done. And I think our job right now is to lay out to the people of West Virginia what's at stake here, the people of America, what's at stake here. West Virginia is a beautiful state. It's a great state, but it is a state that economically is suffering in really bad ways. And the people of West Virginia have got to understand that if we're going to lower the outrageous cost of prescription drugs, we've got to pass this legislation. If we're going to have the kind of home health care that we need in West Virginia, Vermont, and America, we got to pass this bill. If we're going to expand Medicare, West Virginia, Vermont are older states. A lot of people walking around without teeth in their mouths. They need hearing aids. That's in this bill. We've got to pass this bill. Yeah. And everybody in America must understand that the scientists are telling us we have a very little time in order to transform our energy system if we're going to prevent future absolute disasters in terms of climate change. And that is in this legislation. So this is an enormously important bill. And the American people have got to stand up and demand that every member of the Democratic caucus, and it is pretty pathetic, I got to say, that there's not one Republican who has the guts to stand up to the drug companies or the insurance companies or the fossil fuel industry, but at least all of us have got to work together. And the last point that I would make on this, Rachel, is in the caucus, as everybody knows, there's a wide diversity of opinion, from progressive to pretty conservative. But what is troubling to me is that you have two senators who are not just prepared to fight for their ideas, but they have said, you know what, it's my way or the highway. If you don't do what I want, Mr. President, or members of the Democratic caucus, I'm walking away from here. And that is an arrogance that I think is unacceptable. Any member of the Democratic caucus can do that. As you well know, I happen to believe the current health care system is dysfunctional. I believe in a Medicare for all system. And I could walk away and say, if that Medicare for all is not in this bill, I'm out of here. But I don't do that because not everybody in the caucus agrees with me. So what bothers me is that we have people like Mr. Manchin turning their backs on the working families of this country, allowing the big money interest once again to prevail, and basically saying that if I don't get everything I want, I'm not going forward. That is not acceptable to me.
Senator Sanders, a lot of Democratic senators and even Democratic members of the House have tried to negotiate with Senator Manchin in good faith, including talking with him away from the cameras, having private conversations, having multiple sort of tiered conversations with him to try to get him to yes, to try to pull him into the coalition. You and a lot of the grassroots activists we have talked to on the show have tried another approach, try to push him from the outside with direct action, with editorials in his hometown paper, with talking to West Virginians and supporting their own activism around this sort of thing. Neither of those two approaches appear to have worked on him, and he's complained sort of bitterly about the last one. Strategically, what do you think is left to try?
Look, I just think that we have got to bring this bill to the floor. I think, frankly, we look like fools to the American people when month after month after month quote-unquote negotiations are ongoing. And finally, you either got to fish or you cut bait. And I think we bring the bill to the floor. If Mr. Manchin chooses to vote against it, he will have to tell the people of West Virginia and this country why he is supporting all of the powerful special interests in this country, the drug companies, the insurance companies, the fossil fuel industry, the very wealthy who do not want to pay anything more in federal taxes. He's going to have to explain that. But you got to bring that bill to the floor. And if it goes down, we can decide what the next step is. But we cannot keep just talking and talking. We got to do something, bring that bill to the floor. And by the way, Rachel, it has to be a strong bill, a clear bill that makes it clear to the American people we are substantially reducing the cost of prescription drugs, that we are expanding Medicare, that we are building the affordable housing and the home health care and the child care that the American people want. We've got to do a better job of getting the word out as to what's in this bill and what it will mean, among other things, by the way, the $300 per month for working parents that they're getting for their kids. That's going to end if this bill is not passed, despite the fact we've reduced childhood poverty through that by almost 40%.
What you're saying there, particularly at the end there, really echoed by the statement that was put out by the White House in response to Senator Manchin's pronouncement. We will continue to press him to see if he will reverse his position yet again to honor his prior commitments and be true to his word. But in the meantime, Senator Manchin will have to explain to those families paying $1,000 a month for insulin why they need to keep paying that instead of $35 for that vital medicine. He'll have to explain to nearly 2 million women who would get the affordable daycare they need to return to work why he opposes a plan to get them the help they need. Maybe Senator Manchin can explain to the millions of children who've been lifted out of poverty in part due to the child tax credit why he wants to end a program that is helping achieve this milestone. Maybe he can explain to those millions of children. We cannot. Covering this from the outside, it has felt like sort of a chronicle of a death foretold, because it has felt like Senator Manchin has been sort of feeding the prospect that this would pass and that he could get to yes, just enough to keep the attention on himself, frankly. And I don't mean to speak derogatorily of him in personal terms, but it has felt like he's just enjoyed all the attention. He's enjoyed being asked every day. He's enjoyed all of the, sort of tea leaf reading about his feelings. I don't know how you plan to get around that, but I also don't know how putting him on the line and making him vote for it, I'm sure he's going to vote no if it comes up to the floor in January. I don't know how that will move him either.
Well, this is not only Mr. Manchin, and it's not only these policies which are so important to working families. It is about the Democratic Party trying to restore faith with the American people that they actually stand for something. What has been really painful about this whole process, to my mind, Rachel, is not only the dragging on of these so-called negotiations, it is that the American people don't know where we are at. Do we have the guts to take on the drug companies who are spending over $300 million in lobbying right now? Is that the Democratic Party have the guts to take on the private insurance company who do not want us to expand Medicare to cover dental, hearing, and eyeglasses? Do we have the courage to do what the scientists are telling us has to be done and transform our energy system away from fossil fuel? So the issue is not just Mr. Manchin. I mean, it would be really, really, really sad, and someone who worked really hard on this, if we were not successful. But it would be even sadder if the American people said, these people stand for nothing. Not only can't they get anything done, they don't believe in anything. They don't have the guts to take on the powerful special interest. And I would prefer us to be able to say, look, we tried. And we had all of the Republicans bought off by the big money interests. And we had 2 Democrats who couldn't stand with us. Give us more Democrats, and in the first week of a new Congress, we will pass this. That's better to me than just to be negotiating forever and standing for nothing.
Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders, the chairman of the Senate Budget Committee. Sir, thank you for your time tonight. It's been too long since you've been here with us. I really appreciate you making time tonight.
Thank you very much.